What's up, everybody? I cannot wait to share this with you. I just did a beautiful interview with April over at the Light Beamers community, and we spoke about something that I was like, oh, I got to get on and share this with my community. I got to share it because so many people get stuck in this feeling of like, I don't have what I need. I don't have this powerful story. I don't have, the money. I don't have this background. So she was saying, like, what would you say to someone who feels like their story is not important because they don't have all of this like chaos and craziness that you had in your past? And I said something that was so necessary for people out there to hear, because I have to let you guys know that at any given moment, you're in the midst of your greatest victory story. And there are choices and there are shifts in consciousness and ways that you can show up that are a yes to that. So hi, Chantel. Hi, Amy. Hi, Andrea. Hi, Karina. Hi, Talon. So, you could be in a situation where you're like, my money is tight. I just gone through a breakup, or damn, I need to go through a breakup. These things are not working. I don't know why I've been giving my 100% to my business and it's just not showing up. I'm not getting the results from it. Or it could be something that's going on with your health. It could be something that's going on with your mental health. There could be so many things going on right now, but I want you just to, as we are in this short Facebook Live together, can you be willing to open your heart, open your mind, and see yourself differently, right? And stop projecting all of this stuff from the past into the future, into like the unknown. So she asked me, what would you say? People say they don't have a story, that their story is not worth sharing because they don't have all of these big things that happen. And I said, well, if I didn't lean into my opportunities and take big risk, I would still just be some sort of drug dealer, drug addict, alcoholic, someone that's on welfare, someone that probably lives in low-income housing, someone that may not even be alive right now. I wouldn't be someone that people are paying thousands of dollars to for coaching. I wouldn't be someone who is writing books or on podcast every other day. I wouldn't be that person. But I'm that person, and you know why? Because I took big risk. I also played games with the universe. And what does that mean? It means that I did not overthink making an investment in me seeing differently. I did not overthink what my soul said yes to. I literally was like, I'm going to trust this. I know that I'm here for something greater. It was to the point where I was borrowing money from my friends. I'll tell you guys, yesterday felt really good. One of my friends that I called when I was being evicted, for some of you guys that have read my book, when I moved back to LA to start my business, I was at this point where I just gave 100% to my business, but I thought it would work faster than it really did. And the house that I was living in and renting here in Venice Beach, I got a call that they were selling the house and that I had to move out in 30 days. I had no money. I was making probably $1,000 a month in my business, and I had to come up with $5,000 to move, because that's what it costs to move in LA with the security and all this stuff. So I called one of my old friends that I know had the money, no problem. And I called him crying. And it was a time where my ego just hated it. And I was just I know that this is temporary. I know that I can get beyond this. I know that there is greatness in me. And what I know is that there is greatness in all of us. That in each of us, there are these parts of us that we will never access if we don't say yes to the nudges, right? Because we are guided to our next best step. We are guided to a place that will be a mirror for us. We are guided to the person that will tell us something that we need to hear. We are guided to all these situations. But what happens is when we let our mind get into this place, we start feeling let me try to figure this out. I think I know what's best for me. When we cannot know what's best for us because our mind is limited. And there's nothing wrong with you saying my mind is limited. The human mind is limited. We are in this infinite universe. We don't even know why we're really here. I mean, come on, guys. We don't know. We can't control when volcanoes are erupting and when earthquakes are happening. Life is so much bigger than us. And when we come to accept that and to surrender to that and to love that, there's so much magic that unfolds. We then fall into flow with life. So that being said, are you willing to have an experiment with life and be willing to see what life has for you? So for me, I knew that I had already checked off all the boxes of bad things that could happen, right? I was like, and there could have been way more, but I was like, okay, all of these things made me feel very unworthy. All of these things to an outsider, if someone would have came into my life 2008, they would have looked at my life. They would be like, this woman is not going anywhere. She is a young single mom. Her daughter's father just went to prison for murder. She's never chosen a love that didn't beat her ass. She is like so far cannot stay sober for more than any amount of time. Like it was just a mess. And not to mention I was emotional and like very like reactive. So I would have thought the same. And you know what? I thought the same about myself. But there was something in me that just kept fighting for a new way of life. So when I see women that are perfectly capable, that are not facing addiction, or not facing neglect and abuse, and are not facing all of these diagnoses of like panic disorder and all these things, and they just can't admit like that I'm worthy of living my best life. They can't admit that I deserve to be paid good for what I do. They can't admit that I am willing to abandon all things that no longer nourish and serve me. That's when I'm like, okay, you're really living a privileged life. Good. That's great. But can you wake up from it and see how blessed you are and stay the fuck out of your own way? Like, it frustrates me. And I shared this in my Facebook Live yesterday. It's like, there's so many, everybody wants something bigger. Everyone wants something more beautiful. Everyone has like, they'll look at like, you know, the beautiful boat or the beautiful house, or they'll look at these like hotels that they would like to stay at, or they would look at these vacations and think, I wish I could buy that for my family. But how many people are really willing to do what it takes? A smaller amount, a much smaller amount. And I know because I have people that reach out to me all the time and they're like, I want this, but they just cannot seem to get the fuck out of their way to have it. And when I say like, you know, I'm really feeling this frustration in this, and I want to light a fire under someone's ass for this today, because 3 years ago, I did not have a business. 3 years ago, I was like living in my friend's house with my daughter. And I was in Pennsylvania, and I was like, I need to move back to California. I don't have the money for it. I know that my soul is saying move back to LA. My soul is also saying that it's here to do big things. My soul is saying that it needs to share its story. Like, there were all these nudges, and I decided to surrender to them. And people in my life at the time were like, this sounds really crazy. How are you going to move back to California with your daughter? You don't have money. You don't have these things. How are you going to start a business? You don't have any capital. No one's going to buy this from you. How are you going to find clients? All of those noises came. But you know what? There was a part of me that was just unshakable in knowing that I was in the midst of my biggest victory, right? And so why I share this is because right where you are, any of you, today, there is something that's been on your heart. There's something that is like nudging you, and something is saying to you, there's more here for you. There's more here for you. You've been playing small. Does anyone feel like that that's on this live session with me right now? If you do, just drop an emoji, do a heart, do something, like be honest. Is there something in your being, like there's a knowing that there's something more for me and I've been playing small, right? Yes, right? And even me, I could be playing way bigger. But see, here's the thing. We don't know what we don't know yet. So all we can do is surrender. All we can do is surrender. So right now, we are in the midst of our biggest victory story, if we say so. Rebecca says yes. Amy says yes. Jillian says yes. Christy says, doing that exact right now. Surrender to the nudges. Yes. So if we live in this space of like, because we can wake up and be in a place of like, I don't have hope, I don't have the money, or I don't have the relationship, or I don't have the relationship with myself. I feel like this, I feel like that. Or we can choose, you know what? I understand that my choices have brought me to where I am right now. I understand that my subconscious habitual way of thinking and being has led me to here. But I am willing to say yes to these desires. I'm willing to say yes to this, knowing that there's something so much greater for me. And that I am meant to live a life that is a pure and magnificent demonstration of what is possible for all of humanity. And when we do that, life supports us in ways that you can't even imagine. Like, if I would just go through all the things that I've been gifted for free, things that people have just called me up and said, hey, do you want this? Hey, do you want to try that? Hey, I have this introduction for you. The reason why I've been so supported in all this is because even when it's the moments where I don't have the money, even when it's the moments where I'm like, I don't have a babysitter, even in the moments where I'm like, I don't know how I will physically get this done, I listen to my soul and I say yes to its potential. And I am so supported. It doesn't mean that there's not uncomfortable times because, hello, like our soul is asking for the next rite of passage. Our soul is looking for growth and stretching. That does not happen on the beach with a cocktail in your hand. It does not happen there. So why do we always want that? Now, I want it too. It's nice to have, right? But I know from my own experience that life feeds us the medicine that we need when it asks us, show up for this, and we show up for it, and whatever unfolds. But there's this energy of come what may. So what are you being asked to show up for? Come what may. No matter what happens, no matter what anyone says, no matter what you're faced with, you are going to take one step in front of the other, and it's just a done deal. So going back to the original thing of this, why, but Nicole has this big story, so it's worth sharing. My story only became big because it would be a story that is identified as a loser story, of a story of someone that was worthless and that just fucked her life away, unless I stepped in and took those courageous steps and decided this is my victory story. Watch me now, right? So it was in those moments that I decided that my story will be worth sharing, because one day, all of these risks, all of these choices, all of these deep surrenders, all of these tears, all of this willingness is going to show up in a beautiful, magnificent way as my life. And it's still unfolding. And I'm still faced with new ways that I can surrender, new ways I can trust, new ways I can let go, new people I need to let go of, new people I need to say yes to. But I want you to know this wasn't like life just gave me it all planned out and I just had to say yes because it was so easy. It was like I was choosing the stretch. I was choosing the hard stuff. I was choosing to see okay, well, I've already experienced all this uncomfortable stuff. I've already had all this pain. Life already shaped me all these ways. I'm willing to trust that I can say yes and that I'm going to be delivered to something beautiful. Right? So that's why I cannot relate to women when they tell me that they can't afford to do things that would change their life. Oh, I'm so unhappy with my life right now. I'm so miserable. I don't want to wake up in the morning. I don't want to do this. I don't like the way these things feel. I have to deny myself of all this and that. But yet, how willing are they to actually do what it takes to get on the other side of that? And they're not willing. I can't relate to that. I cannot resonate with that. Because here's what I know. We're here for a short period of time overall, right? Like a blip in humanity in this form. And if you believe in multiple lives and all that, cool. I don't know what I believe there. I'm open to it. But I do know this. Here I am in this form now, and I've been shaped in the way that I've been shaped to deliver what I need to deliver now. You, the same way, have been shaped through your life stories, through your pain, through your triumphs. And right now you can choose to have the greatest triumph you've ever imagined, ever experienced, right now. But there are a series of yeses that you'll have to say yes to. There are people that you will have to say no to. There are things in your life that are not nourishing you that you cannot let go of because you're afraid there's not going to be more. But I dare you to. I dare you to. Hi, Queen. Hi, Connie. Hi, Sebastian. Hi, Shay. So, hi, Rebecca. Hi, Alexandra. So here's the deal. For some of you, it's writing a book. For some of you, it's starting the business. For some of you, you have the dream, you have the desire. Life has gifted you with that. So we don't have to say, well, life didn't give me my business plan and life didn't give me the $50,000 to start my business. Life didn't give me all that. You don't need all that. Here's the only thing you need, the vision. The vision is your gift. The vision is your call. The vision means it's for you. So if you're in a place of doubting the vision, you're already denying the divine. Like the vision is your yes. Now, here's where we stretch and where our soul is called to grow. Our soul is called to grow when we are like, okay, I have the vision. Now it's my job to materialize it, right? But sometimes if you're limited thinking, you get caught up in the how can I afford it? That is the most limited thing you can think of. And here's why. You are so resourceful, infinitely resourced. This is the stuff I tell myself all the time. I am infinitely resourced. I am highly resourced. My gifts are funded. I am here to just show up and deliver what I've been called to deliver. But it's not just me. It's all of us. I believe it's all of us. So Thank you, Queen. So it's just knowing, like, tapping back into yourself. What has been on your heart? What has been that nudge that you've been denying yourself because you're afraid? And are you willing to say yes to your victory story? So that being said, I have another podcast that I'm about to hop on, but I want to tell you this. My Radical Shift program is starting on July 9th. So if you are a woman and you're like, you know what, I am so ready to get the hell out of my way. I'm really, really ready to have the support in identifying the ways in which I'm playing small, the patterns of thinking, the ways that I shut myself down, all of that, we're going to go into that. We're going to go into that. But beyond that, it's not work that we're doing up here. We're moving from here to here. Because a lot of this work it's heart work, it's courage work, it's being bold, it's being aligned and anchored in your truth day to day to day, knowing that it is paramount to you, right? And I'm certain that all of us are here for a reason, but only you know if you've been called and you've been half-stepping on that call, right? And I know this, that on the other side of an aligned yes and a surrender to what you've been called to do, you will be rewarded in the most beautiful ways, like the levels of abundance, fulfillment, joy, all these things. They're so next level that you can't say, like, I can't afford that. How could you afford not to have that? That's what I just have never understood. And that's why when people ask me about my story, I'm like, yeah, I said yes to those things. I chose those things moment by moment. I commit to so much. I do so much work. I'm always at silent retreats. Every time they come twice a year, I'm going to them, right? I see the Tony Robbins. I'm like, I like this. I got results. I'm going to go 3 times in 1 year. I'm going to keep going. I'm going to invest where I need to go because my paradigm here is like created in my thoughts from 6 months ago. I'm trying to create my paradigm from like something new. I want to stretch in a new way. So here's the other thing. If you're feeling like Radical Shift, the 5-week intensive that is like deep diving beyond the intellect, taking you into the heart, helping you unpack and to really unleash, right? If you feel like, oh, that doesn't feel right to me, then Bali's available, and I'm taking in 2 private clients. There's one person that's on the fence. That person's working out the financials around that, but right now there's 2 spots. So if you feel like I am called to work with Nicole, I am ready to get the fuck out of my way, and I'm done hiding behind my excuses and all this nonsense because I'm very non-nonsensical. Guys, you know I get this little tongue twister things going on. No nonsense, that's the word. But beyond that, it's not here talking. I don't meet my clients at talking. We can only do so much by talking. It's going deeper and really uncovering the places where you don't feel worthy of living your best life now. Because when should you have your best life? Not when you're 60, not when you collect your retirement, right now. Whatever form you're in right now, you deserve to live your best life now. Alex says, hey girl, I bought your book yesterday and finished it yesterday. Oh my God, what an amazing inspiration you are. Thank you. Dude, I cannot believe how many of you guys read a 300-page book in like 1 day. But that goes to show, I will say this about the book. I wanted the book to be entertaining without lulls in it, right? So to have a 79,000 word book with no lulls, but luckily I have such a dramatic life. We even cut out like abusive relationships and cut out like I was robbed by knife point in New York City. I never put that in there. There's so many things I didn't put in because my life was that crazy. But as I say, greatest victory story, right? Wherever we are, whenever we choose. So guys, I'm going to leave you with that. If you feel called to do any of those things, I would love to invite you into my world to come play with me and to really get free. This isn't about me. It's about me being called to facilitate this. But at the end of the day, here's what I know is that 3 years ago, I didn't have a business, right? Here we are now, 2.5 years after I started my business, and my business is thriving, right? I wrote a book. I have all these things. It became a bestseller. All these things came because I trusted in the nudges. So I invite you to trust in your nudges. I got to go jump on this podcast. Sending you so much love. Message me if you feel called to do any of those things I mentioned, and I would love to support you in making it happen. Bye, guys.